Good afternoon, everyone. Let me call to order this meeting of the West Palm Beach Community Redevelopment Agency. The time is 4 p.m. on Monday, December 9th. All right, we do have a card for comments from the public. Tanya Rich.
Good evening to the mayor and to the commissioners. I just want to say that the event this past weekend was awesome. I've never seen it lit up so well. I've never seen just the people just actually enjoying themselves. There were a lot of children. Oh, it was a whole bunch of kids. But for the most part, I just want to tell Chris Rugg and your team with Ansley, absolutely fabulous, hands down, 100. So I am just wanted to let you know. I know I get up and I get on you a lot of times, but I just wanted to let you know, job well done.
Thank you. And by this event, you mean the Heart and Soul event?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. That's okay. Thank you, and thank you for those remarks. All right, turn to members of the dais for any comments. President Ward.
None, thank you.
Commissioner Lambert.
No comments, thank you.
Commissioner Peduzzi.
No comments, thank you.
Commissioner Warren.
No comments.
And Commissioner Fox.
Thank you, Mayor. Tanya took the words out of my mouth. I was absolutely blown away on Friday night. Congratulations, and thank you to everyone on the CRA team. You have really outdone yourselves. It looked absolutely beautiful. People were having such a blast. Everywhere I went into all the different businesses, there was different people everywhere in every nook. I think it's exactly what we want to activate that area. Kids were having fun, their parents were having fun, and it just looked amazing. And so I know that so much work goes into these things to make it look so easy. But anyway, thank you so much for all that you've done to make this such a special weekend for all of our residents. Thank you.
And I echo those remarks, what they said. No, great job, great job. It was good to see so many people out in that part of our city with no issues. And I'll leave it at that. People totally enjoying themselves without any issues, which makes a statement. All right, Mr. Rugg, are there any additions, deletions, reorganization of the agenda?
No, Mayor.
All right, we do have one item on consent. Any questions or comments on the minutes? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor, I move approval of the items on consent.
All right, it's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion. Hearing none. All those in favor of the motion say aye. Aye. All those opposed, like sign. Hearing no opposition, motion carries unanimously. All right. Item 7.1. Resolution number 24-62, approving a facade and exterior program grant to We Second Chance LLC in the amount of $75,000 for exterior building improvements at 800 North Sapodilla Avenue.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Commissioners. Kelsey King, CRA Project Manager, presenting We Second Chance LLC for the location at 800 North Sapodilla under Resolution 24-62. So on today's agenda, I'll provide a quick overview of the facade and exterior improvement grant. We'll review the existing property location, show some renderings and the proposed improvements, and then end with staff recommendation and take any questions from the board. So the facade and exterior improvement grant was previously approved back in June of 2006, along with 9 other incentive programs, and was put in place for commercial businesses to enhance the exterior of their buildings. Qualifying improvements include painting, installation of new awnings, doors, windows, landscaping, and paving. This particular applicant is investing over $122,000, and so the agency is proposing to award them a $75,000 grant that will be secured through the reimbursement method where, once all work has been completed, and through security documents that the applicant has signed and has clawback in the event of default or non-performance. So the location is indicated by the yellow star, with Heart and Soul Park to the east, and then the Styx Promenade directly to the south. You also have the 6th Street Douglas Shotgun Homes to the southwest. The photo shown indicates the current condition of the property with a view from Sapodilla Avenue. And the proposed renderings with improvements such as restuccoing and painting the building and installation of signage, doors, and windows. And with that, staff recommendation is to approve Resolution 24-62 as it is in line with Target Area Goal 8, which is promoting business development in the Northwest neighborhood. And now I'll take any questions from the board.
Thank you for that presentation. Any questions? Commissioner Fox?
Thank you so much. This is a fantastic program. I don't remember the last time we had one of these grant approvals. Are there a lot of businesses taking advantage of them? I know that there's several different grants, but I don't remember this one specifically.
So I'm going to refer over to Gina Baker, who's our senior project manager. This is her area, and she might be able to tell you a little bit more.
Good afternoon, Gina Baker, Project Manager, Historic Northwest. We haven't had many applications this year, but it is advertised on our website. A lot of folks are aware that the funds are available. We just haven't had many takers.
Commissioner Warren?
Thank you. I look forward to seeing the utilization of this particular grant. Do we know if We Second Chance has applied for any other grants or participated in anything else that we've had in the neighborhood?
So per my knowledge, they have not applied for any other grants. They did apply for different locations for this grant, but due to the constrictions of the program, they were only able to go forward with this one location.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor, I move to approve resolution number 24-62.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion say aye. Aye. All those opposed, like sign. Hearing no opposition, motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Item 7.2, resolution number 24-63, authorizing a notice of intent to dispose of Community Redevelopment Agency property located at 719 North Sapodilla Avenue in West Palm Beach, Florida.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Commissioners. I'm Elise Lifton, CRA's real estate manager, and I'm here to present 719 North Sapodilla Avenue Notice of Intent to Dispose. And I just have to get to the, oops, thank you. This is Resolution 24-63. I will go over the overview of the property, the notice of intent to dispose, the timeline, and be open for the board for any questions. This is the location, 719 North Sapodilla Avenue, where the store is. It's across the street from Queen of Sheba and down the road from Styx Promenade. The property was built in 1925. It's historic. It's a single standalone mixed-use building on 2 floors with a mezzanine. It's about 2,800 square feet. Zoning is NWD RC1, Northwest District Commercial. And the CRA purchased the property in 2016 through a foreclosure. It is currently, as you can see from the picture, under construction, and it's underway. Its estimated completion is April 2025. CRA received an unsolicited proposal, was submitted from a business for the sale and activation of the property for a health-conscious dining use. And per the section, it requires a publication notice of disposition on the intent to sell and acceptance of competing proposals. To formally consider any proposals, we must issue a notice of the intent to dispose for a minimum of 30 days. And in that notice to dispose, there'll be some items to include for those businesses about enriching the community and local food scene. Proposers that are emphasizing a new wave of health-conscious dining experiences, such as plant-based eateries and farm-to-table restaurants, as well as innovative concepts to support the community wellness and local agriculture. So the notice of disposition will be shared both in the local newspaper and on CRA's websites. We have a timeline. Upon board's approval, the publication to the notice will be on December 15th. The proposal deadline, which is 30 days, is January 15th, would be the deadline. And then from there, we would be reviewing all proposals between the period of January 16th through the 23rd. We would review to make sure that the businesses have met the specific criteria for the intended use of this proposal, and the whereby we would make the recommendation to the board and a resolution authorizing the negotiations for a purchase and sale agreement around April 14th. The construction is expected to be completed also in April, and from there we anticipate the business opening upon the approval of the business by June of 2025. The goals achieved in this project for the Northwest is our goal number 1, which is to protect the historic fabric of the neighborhood and enrich a new wave of health-conscious dining experiences, as well as goal number 8, which is to promote business development, the neighborhood image, and enriching the area and the blighted area to improve it. As CRA staff recommends approval of Resolution 24-63. Any questions from the board?
Very good. Thank you for that presentation. Any questions, Commissioner Warren?
Hi, thank you. The zoning district that you referenced, if you can go back to that and tell me what is the height? I know that it's designated historic. Are they able to build up on this?
Is that the zoning? Yeah, it's Northwest District R, C1.
Do you know if they're able to go up in height in this location or not?
Thank you, Gina. Project Manager, Historic Northwest. No, they are not. This is a historic building. It's being fully restored in its current footprint and fabric. It will be a 2-story structure. The interior second floor was a rooming house. That's being converted now to open space with a mezzanine.
Thank you.
Commissioner Lambert, then Commissioner Peduzzi.
Thank you so much for the presentation. I have a question about the process, and I don't know if this is a question for you, Chris. So we had an unsolicited bid for this property, and then now we're going to put out disposition, but we're going to ask for the same type of businesses who submitted the unsolicited bid?
Right. So because in order to entertain that one, and we know that there's a market for it, the approach has been, okay, well, what other types of businesses that fall in that same category, so that we know we're essentially understanding what other opportunities may be available to the board under that use. So it's intended to just kind of understand generally that use, and if there's other folks out there that can fill it, so that the board can sort of compare apples to apples. So that was the approach that we intended to take for the property.
Okay, great. Follow-up, Mayor?
Yes.
And when you say that we know that there's a market for it, is that because a private business is proposing this, and so they feel that they'll be successful, so we'll put it out there to see what else is available?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Peduzzi?
Along those same lines, ordinarily I like to think that the market is the best driver for determining whether something's going to be successful. Do we have anything other than an unsolicited bid that would suggest that a natural or health-conscious dining use is the best use in that location, or that it will be successful? I mean, we know that restaurants in general have, a 90% failure rate in the first 2-3 years. I wouldn't want to see us spend a lot of time, disposing of this property to an entity that's ultimately going to fail statistically, especially, with the health conscious. It's a great objective, but is that going to be the most successful type of restaurant in that area too? I don't know. So I would just ask that we consider whether this is the best direction for that property, and then consider also how much we've put into it as a CRA versus what we're talking about disposing of it for, and are there other uses that might maximize the return to the city?
You want to respond to that?
Sure. Yeah. So let me take a couple of the questions that you had, Commissioner. So first off, the market, there's lots of uses. I mean, essentially we have the zoning code that we have to work within those parameters on, and that has a broad variety of uses. The renovations that we've pursued on this location are primarily for a restaurant use, and a restaurant can be pretty broad. However, when we looked at, when we got the unsolicited bid, and we health conscious, it was something that currently isn't in the neighborhood, unlike maybe some other cuisines that you can find, or other businesses that we do, like for instance in the sticks with Eaton Cakes, which is going to be there, and then also Queen of Sheba which is Ethiopian. This one is much more different. And then as far as other information related to know what the market will bear in the area, that's pretty broad. The recent market research that we've looked at, and this didn't come specifically for the historic Northwest, it's more generally for downtown when we do our work with the Downtown Development Authority of those places. It really is kind of just broad quality restaurants are what's needed in the downtown master plan area, which the historic Northwest is in. So, and then as far as return on investment, that there is really tricky because historic preservation projects are expensive. And we can go through the analysis, but I'm not sure, regardless of the end use, that you'll fully restore or recoup. We're going to do a really good job of getting most of it back. But historic preservation projects are just tricky and expensive, which is, but for the CRA, they probably wouldn't happen. But there again, there's more value to the project than just the building itself. It's really sort of maintaining that fabric, which I'm not sure you could really put a value on. So taking into account all of that, and also having a willing participant that wants to come and present to the board and show their proof of concept, that's all this does, is it will allow them to then come and present to you their business concept. It's just we can't have that conversation with the board until we do this intent to dispose.
Thank you. Brief follow-up.
Yes.
Will there be a use restriction that runs with the land, and how long a period of time are you foreseeing that to be?
A use restriction, meaning how long they have to stay there?
No, how long can they use? You were talking about disposing of the property. Are they going to be required to run it as a restaurant for a specific period of time?
Yes, when we do the agreement with them, we typically put that, okay, based on your proposal, you're going to stay there, or you're going to keep that business there for at least 5 years.
Thank you.
Commissioner Warren?
Thank you. Several years ago, when the moniker, the tagline, Heart and Soul, was given to the historic Northwest, there was a concept behind it that included it being like a restaurant destination, or a place where we looked at the soul food restaurants and the variety of Caribbean restaurants and the influences that those had on the community. Is that still something that we're pursuing?
Absolutely. To your point, Commissioner, we know we have Queen of Sheba there, eating cakes, and then Fantasy Island will also soon be completed. But this building, again, was designed as a restaurant, and it's, we're treating it very much as kind of the continuation of the success that we've had with the sticks. We just happened to have a proposal early, and it's a little more involved than a sticks, like most restaurants are, and it's also a bigger building. So knowing that, again, we have that business that we think meets a lot of the goals that we've set for the Historic Northwest as a board, we want to have the opportunity to bring that opportunity to the board for consideration.
Thank you.
Commissioner Ward, President Ward.
I think along the same lines of questioning, like thinking about it, and I appreciate the commentary, maybe it is too narrow, and obviously you're building this out, and so there's only so many uses you can do up until April when you're negotiating. And if we're after restaurants, that's fine, but health conscious may limit it too much to the point where why are we disposing? We're just essentially disposing for this one applicant versus maybe there's somebody else there who brings in a really solid offer that wouldn't necessarily be considered health conscious and who's determining that. And so I understand the conversation around what the use would be when it's food and beverage, but maybe we don't have to restrict it so much to that point. Is Queen of Sheba health conscious? Someone would say yes, some would say no, depending on what you order. Everybody loves the burger place that opened up. That's not certainly health conscious. So I actually kind of agree that I feel like we're maybe narrowing it a bit too much.
Any comments, questions? Commissioner Peduzzi.
Just briefly, I agree. It might be a little too narrow. I mean, if we had this in place and if a Queen of Sheba was looking to locate to that area, they may not fit into the requirements. And I think we can all agree that a restaurant like Queen of Sheba just brings a tremendous amount of cultural diversity to our restaurant scene, which is important. I think that's what drives people to these areas to actually go to these restaurants. Otherwise, they may not go. I don't know. I think it is narrow. I think that if we open it up and let it be available to all sorts of different cultural experiences, it might be, more worthwhile than just limiting it to health food.
Did you want to respond, Chris, or?
I'm hearing that there is a desire to maybe broaden it out a bit more. So we're happy to broaden that out a little bit more to accommodate the direction that the board would like to set.
All right. Any other questions, comments? So is that the sentiment that you all want to broaden it beyond just health conscious, or how broad do you want to expand it? Just any restaurant concept, or do you want to have?
Excuse me.
Yes.
I was just going to, after you all spoke, was make sure that when you make your motion, instead of just approve the resolution, to approve the resolution with your change, because the resolution is specific to an eatery, health conscious.
Commissioner Warren, you had something to say?
No, I was simply going to say that we can make a motion to move forward with disposition for a restaurant or eatery in the space versus limiting it to health conscious.
So are you making that motion?
Yes.
Okay. Is there a
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Discussion? Hearing none.
I have a question.
Okay, I didn't. Your hand wasn't up that one split second when I looked there. But
Sorry,
anyway,
Mayor.
yes, Commissioner Lambert.
Mr. Rugg, and it seems like that this is the direction we'd like to go, but I just want to check, is there any concern if we broaden the scope?
No, just that, no, Commissioner.
Okay, very good.
Because the ultimate decision still rest.
Correct, yes. It's, the only thing that I would say is that you're probably going to get a very wide variety, and, that just may be, more proposals to consider, which, could require a lot more vetting.
Follow up.
President, well, all right, follow up, Commissioner
Sorry.
Lambert.
I heard you say, and I just wanted to ask for clarification on this. So we have been designing this space for a restaurant.
Correct, yes. Any restaurant, just to be clear.
Great, thank you.
President Ward.
That's what I was going to clarify. We kind of are stuck, if we're already building out for a restaurant, then that should be what we dispose as, is just more of that use. And if we get more, that means there's a lot of interest in that area, and fantastic. I know that's more work on the back end, but it would be a good sign that people want to be there.
All right, any other comments? Did we get a second to the motion? We moved and seconded. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, like sign. Hearing no opposition, motion carries unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 7.3, resolution number 24-64, authorizing a grant in an amount not to exceed $75,000 to Joshua Hillman under the Contributing Structure Rehabilitation Program for improvements to the property located at 1225 North Sapodilla Avenue, and authorizing the chair to sign a grant agreement.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Commissioners. Kelsey King, CRA Project Manager, presenting 1225 North Sapodilla for a contributing structure rehabilitation grant under Resolution 24-64. So on the agenda, I'll do a quick overview of the contributing structure grant, show the residents and surrounding historical structures, provide photos and the proposed improvements, and then we'll end with staff recommendation and take any questions from the board. So the contributing structure rehabilitation grant is specific to the historic Northwest and is in place for any structure that contributes historical significance through their design, setting materials, workmanship, or other to the surrounding community. The agency will reimburse a maximum of 80% of the total project costs, up to $75,000 for eligible upgrades. Those upgrades being exterior window and door replacement, painting, awnings, landscaping, roofing repairs, lighting, and brick pavers. We ensure protection of the public dollars through the reimbursement method once work has been completed, and the applicant has to sign security documents in the event of default or non-performance. The subject location is indicated by the yellow star at the north side of the map, and Heart and Soul Park is in the south side, along with the Styx Promenade, and then you also have the 6th Street Douglas Shotgun Homes in the southwest. These photos indicate the existing condition of the property. The first view is from Sapodilla Avenue, and then the second is from the corner of Sapodilla and Palm Beach Lakes. The proposed improvements include a balcony repair along with the roof, restuccoing and painting the building, replacing the paver walkway, and removing gravel and replacing the gravel with the pavers. And with that, staff recommendation is to approve Resolution 24-64 as it is in support of Historic Northwest Target Area Goal 1, which is protecting the historic fabric of the Northwest neighborhood. I'll take any questions.
Thank you for that presentation. Any questions, comments? Commissioner Fox?
Thank you so much. This is a great program. Similar to my last question, have we had many people taking advantage of this program? Or how do they, I guess, hear about it, and what kind of hoops do they have to jump through to get on our radar? I don't remember the last time that we approved something like this, so I'm just curious.
So the most recent one that we did was actually at the last meeting. It was for 517 Division. It was a contributing structure grant, and primarily people hear about it through our website, where we have a list of all the grant programs that we have and a breakdown of what the requirements are, the application itself, and then we do a lot of promotion through social media, through Facebook, LinkedIn, and other platforms. Yeah.
Any other questions, Commissioner Lambert?
Unrelated to this specific grant, but to the grant program, I certainly agree with Commissioner Fox's sentiment that sometimes it's hard to keep these grant programs separate, and maybe just a sentence or two at the beginning of these kinds of presentations that gives us a sense of, is this grant being utilized, how much? Because I find that very helpful in reviewing these to know, the utilization rate and how the program's going. Thank you.
Any other questions, comments? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor, I move to approve resolution number 24-64.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion say aye. Aye. All those opposed, like sign. Hearing no opposition, motion carries unanimously. Thank you. And that is the last item on the agenda, so this CRA meeting is hereby adjourned. We will reconvene as a city commission at 5 p.m. Thank you.